visible? Can you guys hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. While creating this virtual network, uh, there was an error on the screen. Hence, I did not go ahead and create that one. However, I've created another virtual network here. I used the same method. The only difference is I used a different city name and different subnets I have used. So let's have a look at that one. What was the error? I didn't just want to skip it. It's very basic one. Looking at that only, you will come to know. But let's go ahead and check. Okay. So what does it say? This is the resource. This is the VNet which we were creating, and here it says validation failed. So we'll have to click on this and check. What does it say? Resource name marketing. It's invalid. The name can be approximately up to 80 characters. It must begin with a word, etc. So it's giving the condition. So I come to know that there is something wrong with a subnet which I'm creating as marketing. Okay, that's where something is wrong. So what will I do? I will go ahead here, click on PVS, go back to that one. Where is it? It's in under IP address. Which one is talking about? Marketing. I would have done it easily in the break time, but I wanted to show it to you guys that just because you get something here, just because you see an error, don't just panic. Read the error properly and you will know how to figure it out, how to troubleshoot it. So definitely it says something about marketing. And what is it about? The name of the resource. So let's click on that and check it again. I'm sure there must be a space or something. Look at this. What is it? There's a space after marketing, which is not allowed in the name. So I deleted that space, save it. Let's click on review and create, and let's see if we get that error again. And we did not get any error. Deploy validation was successfully done, and now I have clicked on create. It is being deployed. It will hardly take some time. Once that is ready, let me show you another one which I have created. I created another resource group with the name Jaipur. I created another virtual network, obviously with the same name, Jaipur VNet. I did that. Then I created few subnets in this VNet also, which has been completed successfully. One thing just to be on record, I do not like or I do not encourage using names like city or person name or people name or anything. It doesn't give you that feel. It's always recommended to use names which you are going to use or which you use normally in your work environment. For example, production machine, some app name, some hyphen, etc. It gives you that feeling. But here the basic thing is you should have the understanding. So it's okay to make an exception. As far as you are able to understand with city's name, I'm okay with it. But I'm suggesting you that when you practice, once you're good with it, again switch back to the normal thing where you give some meaningful names, prod, dev, etc. Why am I saying this? Because what you practice here, only these words you are going to utter in your interview. So keep that in your mind, and rest is up to you. That is just a suggestion. Okay, my virtual network is ready. Let's have a look. I will check both virtual networks. So I have ignore these old virtual networks, guys. So what do I have now? I have a Jaipur virtual network, which is in Jaipur resource group, and the location is West US. Then I have Pune virtual network. The location, the resource group is Pune, and the location region is East US. Is it clear till here to everyone? What did we do? And in this virtual network, we created multiple subnets. So if I click on virtual network, here activity overview, activity log, IAM, tags, etc. This everything is same. Address space is something where you can check your range of your IPs. Range of your IPs. You can check this just to make sure that you do not use it somewhere else. And see, you cannot delete it once it is created. Connected device, we'll see that later. Subnet, we're talking about subnet. So how many subnets do we have here? 3 subnets: HR, legal, marketing. Did I use all of my subnets here? Did I use all of my IPs, or do you think I still have scope to create a subnet?
You still have
You
scope.
Yes. How many IPs did we have? Even if you don't recall it, it's okay. You
4000.
can always go to address space and you can check. Total
4096.
4900, 4096. Under subnet, I have hardly used them. I've hardly used not even 1000, not even 500. I haven't even used 500 yet, so I still have scope. Similarly, I have created one VNet called Jaipur VNet, and I've created 3 subnets there. Uh, these are just the name of the areas or tourist attraction in Jaipur. So I've just named so you have the understanding that these are different subnets. Here also, what is the address space I'm using? 65,000. Okay, and subnet, under subnet I have hardly used 500 or more than 500, maybe less than 1000 I have used. So here also I do have the uh, scope. Is it possible to use the same range here? What do you think? 10 wala range, the one which I used in Pune, can I use same here? That I'll give you as a homework, guys. You do and try that, and just give me answer yes or no. You don't even have to say screenshot, nothing. Create one VNet with this range, with this class and uh,
Yes,
cider block.
you can use same range.
Okay, we already got the answer. Okay, but does it make sense if I have this one here and this one here? I will have a lot of confusion, so I will never use the same range. Okay, and later on, which practicals which we are going to do, it won't allow the same range. So technically you
Sir,
can.
but
Yes.
but because the VNet are different, that's why they can't communicate with each other.
Yes, now they cannot, but you will have situation where they can, and this will be a hurdle for you. So it's always recommended that you never use the same range unless these are two different companies altogether and you are sure about it. They're never going to talk to each other. That's fine, then you can use that. So is it clear, guys, till here? Virtual networks, subnets, is it clear?
So I had a confusion.
Hmm.
So for this legal subnet, uh, we used 123 IPs. So you did not continue from the next IP address.
Right.
So
Because
why
I
was
did
that?
not want, marketing and legal to be in same subnet. I'm okay with it if my IPs are being wasted. I'm happy with that. I have no issues. If I continue from here, what will happen? I will save on IPs. But what will I lose?
Okay,
I will lose the security. Marketing team will have access to legal document. Legal team will have access to marketing document. In a way it's okay, चलो legal team के पास marketing के आ भी गए, marketing वैसे ही बहुत खुला सा ये होता है, but still I do not want that. Maybe we are planning to have some marketing strategy which I do not want to share with anyone, even with my legal team maybe they have some their confidential documents they do not want to share with anyone. That is the reason we are keeping them in separate subnets. Though subnets can talk to each other, but if they are in different subnets, there is a way we can block that. And if you have extreme condition that should not even see each other, have separate VMs altogether. You can have that also. Separate VM for HR, VNet, separate VNet for legal. You can do that also. The only thing I'll have to do is come to this address space, and instead of using 4000 here directly, just use 256. You can do that also. It's up to you. It depends on the situation, application, requirement. Plus, you don't have to worry about it. You just need
okay.
to understand the deployment. Okay, that
So
does not mean you should be
technically,
blank. You should be, ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि यार मेरा काम deployment था मुझको पता ही नहीं है कुछ भी. If that is the only requirement, that I'm going to give you something on paper and you just click, that can be done with a fresher with an engineer who has just passed out with a 3 LPA package. Company is ready to pay you 15, 16. So you should have understanding, though you don't have to do it, but you should have understanding. Yes, you were saying something.
so technically it's possible to continue from the next IP.
Definitely, we saw
But
that, right?
yeah,
Yes, it is
yes.
possible.
But as a best practice, we are starting with 10.0.20.
Right. And what do you think? Can it be extended later? Let's say later I want to extend it. Do you think it can be extended? Look at this.
Yes.
So I'm keeping something for future also. Now I have 251 IPs in legal. So it's okay if something has, and plus you are not being charged. I told you already, right? But private IPs are free. So it's okay. It's just for the organization purpose for, or uh, it should be in proper manner. You're not paying just because you are wasting 64 IP does not mean you're paying for them. Private IPs are free. So it's okay.
Okay.
Okay. So these are the subnets. Now let's start creating a machine in HR. What is the range of HR subnet? First thing, can I deploy a virtual machine without a VNet? Not from this
No,
scenario, just asking. Can I deploy a machine
Not
without a
possible.
VNet? Not possible. Can I deploy a VM? And in this case, it could be any resource. I am emphasizing on VM because you will be dealing with VM mostly, and that's how it works normally. But it could be any resource. Can I deploy a VM directly on a virtual network without having a subnet? I'm saying I want 256 IPs. I've created one virtual network of 256, and that's all. Why do I need subnet? I don't have any other department, nothing. Can I deploy
No,
my
minimum
virtual
one
machine?
subnet is required.
Yes, you must have experienced that while creating a machine. What is the name of the subnet which you get? Yes, guys, anyone? Anissa, are you answering? I am not able to hear you if you are talking. If I create a new machine, guys, the simple question is, what is the name of the subnet which you get?
It gives you a new, like it creates a new subnet for you.
It creates a new one, but that's okay. What does it say? The name of the
Yeah,
subnet.
the
VNet, it will take whatever the VM name you give. Okay. What about the subnet? Here you get some subnet, right? The moment you select a VNet, you get a subnet. What is the name of the subnet you get? Yes, correct. Someone answered in the chat window. It's a default subnet, guys.
default.
Yeah, you created so many machines and you're still, this is the reason I ask you to create machines using GUI. This is the rationale behind it. That do not run behind PowerShell, use GUI, so you will understand and remember these things. Right? So make sure that you, when you're doing it using GUI, you just don't rush towards it. Don't just click next, next, next. Spend some time, read about it. What do you see here? What do you see here? What is happening here when you go to disk? Even if I'm asking you to leave default, leave it, but at least spend some time and read it. Read the screen. If you didn't want to do that, we would have used PowerShell directly. How simple it is to create a VM using PowerShell, but there is no learning. So create GUI, use GUI, and get into this habit to read details. Okay. Mm, fine. So the default one which you the default one you get. But again, coming back to the question, is it possible to have a machine then without a VNet or without a subnet?
No.
No. So there has to be a subnet. If you don't create it, it will create a default one. But in this case, we have a subnet. Now I'm planning to deploy a virtual machine. Let's deploy a virtual machine. People, if you're doing it on Windows, make sure firewall step is being followed. For now, I am just going to take this one. I'm just going to take Linux. So I will create one machine in Pune. I will name it as Pune VM. For your understanding, it's easy. Where did we create our Pune virtual network? Which region?
East US.
East US. So now I'm planning to utilize my same VNet. Okay, I'm planning to utilize this VNet. So what should be the region for my machine? Can I take anything randomly? East US 2, will it work?
No.
The same region in which the network is created.
Yes, perfect. Yes. Have this clarity in your mind. Okay, this is very important. That you'll have to create a machine in the same region where your virtual network is already there. Otherwise, you will have to create a new virtual network, and that is not what we are trying here. For now, I'm just taking Linux. When you take Windows, there's no difference in that. You just have to take one step extra and do the firewall thing. And this is still pending till the time we discuss. Make sure you keep on checking them. This, we are not discussing anything, but when you do, please go ahead and read at least once. You will see what all options are there. Which VNet will I take here?
Pune.
See, it is already giving me an option. And is it only one VNet in that region? No. Look at this. This Kumail VNet, it is also in East US, and this one, Kubernetes VNet, this is also in East US. But I want this one, so I'm taking this one. Where did we plan to have this machine? HR. So I'll select HR. If we wanted legal, legal. If we wanted marketing, marketing. Is it clear, guys?
Clear.
Okay. Nick, this will discuss later. Again, we're going to discuss this later. RDP is not required, still I'm checking. Next. Next. Everything is fine and created. Now the question is for you guys. Pune VNet we used. And subnet we used HR. Now look at this and tell me, this is the first resource I'm going to have in my VNet and this particular subnet, right? What will be the IP address of my machine? I'm not talking about public IP. Guys, understand public IP we are using just to take a remote of the machine. Nothing more than that. In real environment, your laptop will be in the same network and you will be able to RDP directly using private IPs. And we'll see that here also, how to do that. Public IP is just limited to this class. So I'm not talking about public IP. My question is now here, I deployed a machine. That's my first resource in this virtual network and this subnet HR. So what will be the IP address of my machine? Now you have the range and everything in front of you for this subnet. My question is, what will be the first IP of my machine? People who have already, who are coming from last batch, who have people who have watched the video and know it very well for sure. So please don't answer. Let others try it. Let others try it once. Yeah. So what will be the first IP of my machine, guys? Yes.
10.0.0.1.
Okay. Anyone else who thinks 10.0.0.0 or 10.0.0. something else? Though I like the approach, whoever answered. Yes. Yes, guys. What about others? What do you think? What will be the first IP? You have everything in front of your screen. You have the range, you know everything. We deployed a machine here. This is the range 10.0.0.0. It's the range where it is starting, 10.0.0.255 where it is ending. What will be the IP address of my machine? Okay, your mic is not working and you say 10.0.0.4. Anyone who agrees with Anisa? She answered 10.0.0.4. Again, not asking to people who have already attended this lecture in my previous batch or watched the video. Yes, guys, anyone who thinks the first IP will be 10.0.0.4 or who knows it very well? Yes, it is 10.0.0.4 because I have built so many machines and I've seen it, but I don't know the reason. Anyone? When you log into your machine, do you check your IP addresses other than public IP? Public IP, I told you, it's just for your RDP purpose, nothing else. So if you would have checked it thoroughly, you will see, yes, answer is correct. Even if you don't know the reason, it's okay. But the answer is correct as of now, 10.0.0.4. Now, why is it 4? This is the topic which we had today, like creating virtual network and understanding the usable IP concept. Now, guys, this usable IP concept, it is specific to Azure. When it was in on-premises, we did not have this. But yes, two things were always there, 0 and 255. We never use. I told you this already. 10.0.0.0, it will never be used for any resource because it is reserved for the network. And 10.0.0.255, it will never be used. Okay, this is always there, be it Azure, out of Azure, on premises, anywhere. But when it comes to Azure specifically, then we have 5 reserved IPs. Now look at this. This is the reason I opened this page. So you could have read it here. If I have this range, then how many usable IPs am I getting here, guys?
251,
251.
251, and 5 are Azure reserved addresses. Now let's have a look at that. Why are they reserved and which of the addresses? And I understand, I wasn't expecting a correct answer. Whoever tried, it's good, because it only says 5 reserved IPs. How are you supposed to know which 5? Maybe there's our last 5, first 5, maybe from 250 to 255. So it's okay. I wasn't expecting a current answer, but at least you should know this. Now let's have a look that which are the IPs which are reserved. So here it is. Why 5 less IPs are we getting, guys? Here's the reason. 10.0.0.0, it will be used for network address. Network address, it is in, let's say, your router address. Not literally, but let's imagine it's your router address. Or for any reason you can't use it for any of your resources. And no one is even going to ask you an explanation. But you have to remember this, that dot zero, it will be used for network address. That's all. Dot zero, network address. These two jargons you have to remember. Dot 255, it's for broadcasting. You don't have to worry about it. What is broadcasting in networking? You're not going to be a network engineer. You're not applying for Cisco engineer, so you don't have to worry about it. But as an Azure administrator, you should remember this. Dot zero, network address. Dot 255, it's for broadcasting. 2 addresses are gone. What about 1, 2, and 3? Why am I getting my IP address from 4? So 1 is reserved for default gateway address. Again, this is similar to your router. We don't have to get into this. Dot 2, it's for your router, similar to your router and default gateway, and it's all similar. Network, all, I mean, there are slight and minute changes which at this level, as an Azure administrator, you don't have to worry about it. The network team will take care of it. And dot 3 is reserved for the future use or some troubleshooting purposes. We don't have to worry about it. We don't even see how to use it, what to do it. Azure does it itself directly. You don't even have an option to assign. You don't even have an option to remove this. What you have to do is just remember this table, and when an interviewer is asking a question, answer this question, that what are the usable IP, or what do you understand by usable IP concept in Azure. So that time you have to explain that. Let's say if I have a VNET and I have created a subnet, and that subnet I have used some CIDR. Even if you don't remember the numbers, it's okay. Just give random numbers. It is okay. The total I'm getting 128 IPs. So if there are total 128 IPs, then the usable IPs will be -5. This is the keyword you will have to use. And after that, if is asking for elaboration, it's okay. If not, if you give the elaboration, it's always good. It gives a good impact, a good impression. That it will -5 IPs. One is for network address, one is for broadcasting, one is for default gateway, one is for router. Sometimes you will see this for DHCP also. So it's okay. You can say default one also, or router also. And one Microsoft has reserved for either future use, or you can say for troubleshooting purpose. Okay. Got it, guys? Is it clear to you? We don't have to understand the rationale behind it. Why only 3? Why not? Why didn't they not start from 255? It's okay. You don't have to worry about it. कि ये एक को यहाँ क्यों नहीं रखा, राउटर को एक क्यों नहीं बनाया, डिफॉल्ट गेटवे को 2 क्यों नहीं बनाया. No one is going to ask you that. Trust me on that. No one is going to ask you that. Do not waste your time. I am literally using word waste. If you have that curiosity, get your job first, clear your interview. Once you are there, then you have enough time. Then you keep on reading articles, etc., white paper, journals which Microsoft is releasing, and then you'll get all your answers. This, what we are doing here, this training session, it's a job oriented training session we are doing. So do not distract yourself here and there. So is it clear, guys, that how many IPs do I get? Usable IPs, how many usable IPs do I get in a subnet? Yes, guys, who would like to answer that? How many IPs do I get? I'm not quoting any number, but I want you to create the sentence. How many IPs do I get in a subnet? Usable IPs.
Usable IPs plus 5 reserve.
No, I didn't. My question is, how many usable IPs do I get?
255 minus 5.
Yes. So instead of 255, you can say whatever is the range of the IP minus 5. Now here interviewer has not given you 255 number. So either you create your own scenario, tell him, let's say that we are using a subnet of 255 IPs, then 255 minus 5. Or you just give it randomly that total IPs minus 5. Whatever total IPs you are getting in subnet minus 5. Those are your usable IPs. It is not usable plus 5, guys. That's not the correct way. Total IPs minus 5. That is your usable IP range. Is it clear to everyone?
Yeah.
Anyone has any doubt? What about others? Neha, are you getting it? Satish, Shweta,
No doubt.
No doubt.
Zareen,
Yes.
Aksa, Anisa, Ganesh? Okay, so let's proceed and have a look at this. The machine which we created. Okay, so where is the machine? It should be here somewhere. My bad, didn't click on create. I thought it was being created and we were discussing. That's okay. While this is being created, guys, I will create one more machine. And guys, I always encourage you that if you have any questions, please speak. Do not use chat session because unless you speak here, you will not be able to speak in your interview. Ramesh, do you have any question?
As of now, all good.
Okay, unless your mic is not working, etc., it's fine. Like Anisa already messaged something and she told me that her mic is not working, but I would again encourage you guys and request you to check your mic and everything before you start the session. It's not for me. Understand one thing: when you ask a question, it takes time. It takes 5 minutes and 10 minutes, and then I'm being delayed for it, and I have to extend the session. For me, it was better that you chat, but it's for your good, because unless you speak here, you won't speak in your interview. Right, so please make sure that you speak here, then only you'll be able to speak in your interview. So I'm going to create a new virtual machine, and this one I will be creating in a different virtual network, the one which we created. I'll do this very quickly. So this is the resource group. This is the VM we are talking about. It is in West US 2. Okay. See, sometimes it happens that this particular size is not available in that particular region. Now I'll have to spend some time on this, search some size which is available. I think I got it. I'm allowing all the ports. We are going to discuss this. Don't worry. We are not leaving that. That is also important topic. We are not leaving that. Networking. Am I creating a new one? What did we decide here? Am I
We
creating a
are
new?
taking
Yes.
the virtual network which was created in Jaipur VNET.
So it's Jaipur VNet. Jaipur is a resource group. Jaipur VNet, it's the one which we are using. Subnet, we did not decide anything. So let's take anything. Maybe Amer is fine. Public IP I'm going to get. We are not discussing that. Okay, let's create it. While this is being created, guys, one thing I would like to tell you, when you start creating the virtual machine, virtual network, from this page, do not go ahead and select your, okay, let me show it to you. If you go from here and if you click on virtual network, okay, it's still fine that you're getting this button. What I meant to say that try creating it from here, because when you search for virtual network, you get one old option also. You may get confused. Maybe I am not able to see that here. Virtual network. Let's see if this is the one. I think this is the old one. Change to classic. So do not do this such thing which will confuse you. It's always better that you go from here, click on the virtual networks, and you will see this and create it from here. And if you have any confusion in this one, feel free to connect with me. So this is how it should look. And wherever you see an option, guys, to go to classic one, do not go. We are not learning classic. Classic is very old. Initial days we used to use classic. Now we are not using classic anytime, and no one is going to ask you classic details in interview. So do not do that. My machine is ready, I guess. Let's check how many machines do I have now.
So I guess you'll need to click on the create button.
I didn't click there also. Wow. Let me check.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So this machine is ready, I hope. Let's quickly log into this one. I'm going to take SSH on this machine. This is Linux. In your case, you will be taking RDP. If you're using Windows, someone who's familiar with Linux, feel free to use Linux. But when you use Windows machine, please make sure that you turn off the firewall. You can do it using command also, and you can do it using your GUI also. I'm checking my IP address for this machine. Second VM is being created. Now what we are going to do is, guys, I'm planning to ping this machine to my Jaipur machine. What do you think? Should it work? Will it work? Yes. Will it work or will it not work? You saw the whole scenario. Where did we create machines? Which are the VNets, etc. So why there is a silence? I need a confident
Uh,
answer. Will it work or
both the
not?
machines,
It works.
It will
both the
work.
machines are in different VNets, so it will not work.
It will not.
Anyone else who thinks it will work? Or anyone who thinks no, it won't work, other than these guys who answered?
No, it will not work.
Okay.
It's in a different VNet.
So by default, machines, can they talk to each other? Machines which are in different VNet?
No.
No.
So this should not work. Let's have a look. And if I check the IP address of this machine, you will get it here. Windows is easy in this manner for this one. What is the IP address of this machine, guys? Look at this. We got our answer also. We did not verify that, right? What we were discussing. What is the IP address we got for this machine?
10.0.0.4.
Okay, so in this manner, can someone tell me what will be the IP address of my Jaipur machine? I'll show you my virtual network and let's see if you guys can answer. I used Jaipur virtual network and I used Amir subnet. My question is, and this is my first resource, what will be the IP address of that machine?
It will be 1.4.
1.4. Could you tell me the full IP, please?
192.168.1.4.
Okay, anyone else who thinks it's different? Sorry. Anisa says 1.4. Yes, guys, anyone else?
It's
It will be
192, 196, 192, 168.0 you're asking, right? So it will be 0.4 will become.
Sorry. No, I did
Oh.
not mean to highlight that. I told you the name.
Okay, Amir, okay. It's a 1.4 will become.
1.4, right? You got it? Why 1.4? Sorry, I did not mean to hide that. It was just there. I did not mean that. But I told you the name, which subnet we are using. Got it, guys? So whoever answered, I think Zoeb, you answered. The answer is correct. 192.164, 1.4. Now let's quickly ping these machines. So from here I'm pinging. Which IP will I use if I want to ping here from here to here? So which IP will I use? I'm pinging this machine. I want to check if the communication is there between these two machines. So from this machine, I will ping 192.
private IP.
168 is obviously private IP. Public, do not even consider that. Public is, it is just to take remote. And from this machine, which IP will I ping?
10.0.0.4.
Okay, so let's say if it is pinging. If it is pinging, if it starts pinging, it will have the continuous line in Linux. In Windows, it is very clear. It will either say terminated, not allowed, not reachable, or it will reply. But in Linux, if it is stopped there on the first line, which means it is not reachable, and if we are getting continuous reply, which means it is reachable. So are these machines able to talk to each other?
No.
No, they are
No.
not. But let's say
No.
that if there is a business situation, now they want them to talk to each other, these two VNets, that we are going to see how to achieve. And that is what the next topic of today's VNet peering. And I told you only two topics we'll be able to cover. And look at this. We have only one session, one topic left. So less than 30 seconds are pending. I will close this session. See you guys at 3:30 using the same link. And then we'll do the VNet peering.
Okay, Sohail.